All right, so today we're looking at all of the small arms exhibits here at IDEX, the International Defense Expo. Smaller than this anti-aircraft gun, but we're going to look at pistols, rifles, machine guns, grenade launchers, anti-tank weapons, maybe some nods and thermals as well. And we're starting here right at the beginning. There's definitely some U.S. companies I want to stop by, but there's a little bit of everything. So we've got Russian, Chinese, Turkish, and everything in between. So let's get started and see what we can find. Now, the previous videos we've been talking more about drones and artillery systems, rockets, missiles, things like that. Not a lot of focus on these small arms, but there is a fair amount here. Starting out, we've got some grenade launchers to start the day, right? Hi there, how are you guys doing? So we're gonna head over here, walk right by the Lockheed Martin booth. This is more of the stuff that I'm familiar with. So that's what more of the video has been focused on. I'm not a gun expert by any stretch. So I'm really going to lean on the comment section here to kind of educate us all what it is we're looking at. And I'll try to showcase as much as possible because there's hundreds of exhibitors here that I think you guys will really like. Oh, here's some interesting stuff. This is right on the line with small arms. We'll see. That's pretty cool. Automatic grenade launcher, 50 cal. We got some things up here on the wall. I guess 12.7 millimeter, so similar to like the US 50 cal. This thing is wild. There's so much stuff here. It's overwhelming. So when we look at some of the bigger things, I feel pretty confident talking through what we're seeing, how it's being utilized, things like that. When we get into small arms, it's just too much. It's outside my wheelhouse. And honestly, some of the most hate I've ever gotten online is when I've mistakenly identified small arms incorrectly. So we're just not going to do that. And instead, we'll see what you all have to say about some of this stuff and hopefully highlight some things maybe you haven't seen before. The focus here is definitely some of the larger stuff. Here we go, we got a couple. It's like training systems almost. It's interesting. Smart shooter. Light weapon controlled, light remote controlled weapon station. Attached here with a saw, and then one with some AT4. All right, I'm excited to get kind of towards the back of the area. There's a ton back there. It feels like more of the small arms is in the back. Here we go, Sig. You guys be familiar with this stuff, right? Popular booth, to say the least. Here we go, a little autonomous vehicle.
You probably could. Having the information. Yeah, we have to.
We got the wall, the SIG wall here. I feel like there's silencers or suppressors on every one of these. Not so much across the board though. Which is interesting because they're clearly getting so much attention in Ukraine between Ukrainian and Russian forces. Just about everybody who can have one does have a suppressor in their weapon system. Oh, all right, here we go. We've got training munitions being utilized right in the middle of the booth. Because why not? Here we got a minigun behind this. We'll check out before diving into that. Counts as small arms, right? All right, they're still setting it up. We're not going to stick around for the demo. Century Arms, saw this over here as we were walking by. solid boots there, right? I like that look right there. Red, that's fancy. Reddish pink, kind of. All right. A little classic there on the bottom. All right. Around the sides, again, because so much of the focus here is on like drones and stuff, you got to get off to the sides to find the small arms. We're going to find it. I think there's some thermals over here. Oh, you know what? Smith & Wesson, we'll check that out. Relatively small booth for Smith & Wesson, right? All right, kind of some classics there. Not very many goodie bags here. I thought there'd be like, you go to conferences, you get like swag, you get to leave with a bunch of stuff. I'm not necessarily collecting it, but I kind of had in my mind that, hey, maybe they'll give away some like really cool stuff at some of these booths. But not really giving away anything. I guess they're just, or maybe I need to be a defense contractor trying to buy something to actually make their money's worth or make it worth their time. But here we go. IR Monster. Binoculars, thermals. Got some more over here, kind of on display. There's a little bit of medical tech. I was interested in seeing if we could find more, but there's not a lot. Oh, creepy robot dog. Never a fan of these, no matter where they are. Oh, Jesus. I think it was trying to talk to us. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into more of the stuff. This is under Edge Group here. So this is an Emirati. Actually, Edge Group is the sponsor. They're the ones that brought me out here. Paid for this trip. It's an Emirati defense company. And they've actually got probably the largest display of anything that's here at all. 5-year-old company, so pretty crazy how quickly they've been able to stand this up. A lot of acquisitions, things like that. Got a little bit more over here, and then we'll keep moving. Some thermals. A couple of miniguns. You got to check out the miniguns. It's hard to pass that up. Something fancy's happening over there. I don't know what it is. Just a little guy, though. Look at that. All right, the other videos, we're going a little further in depth on some of the larger equipment here. So if you want to check those out, that's where we're getting into this stuff. We're going to try to stay with the small things today, but not uniforms and boots. There's like, that's just not very exciting. Or rope. There's a lot of booths here showing like ropes and seat belts. And look, if you want to see that, more power to you. But I am exhausting myself walking up and down this floor multiple times every day. And it's not for rope. So here, to give you an idea, this is the other side of the Edge area. A lot of videos in here showcasing some of these drones. We'll walk right through drones and missiles. But I think there's some stuff over here, some more thermals. Yeah, here we go. Theon sensors. The best-in-class night vision, thermal imaging. Pretty cool looking there. No videos? All right. Fun fact, that is the All of this stuff is sitting out on public display. So fun fact, that is the first time somebody has said, no videos, no pictures. Usually, in fact, it's usually been the opposite, where companies are like, we would love for you to take a video of this. Will you please share it? Why would you have something out on display on a floor? There's no clearances or anything to get in here. It seems like unnecessarily risky to put something out like this that you also don't want pictures of, but who am I? All right, here we go. This is the Edge small arms section. I believe this is actually an American base. They have an American subsidiary. Let me get in here. Oh my God, it's crowded. All right. I'm just gonna keep bumping into people like I have been for a few days. Excuse me. Here we go. All right. It's a saw-looking CLMG.
Any of the
Some rifles back here, submachine guns. A couple more sniper rifles over here. Big ones, big boys. All right, now let's see if I can get out without bumping into as many people as I did on the way in. Excuse me. All right, we're on the hunt. I think Romania is next up here, maybe. We're on the hunt for small arms. We haven't seen nearly as many anti-tank weapons as I thought we would, but we're getting back into the area where I definitely know that there's some of those. AT-4s, RPGs. That's Armenia. Here we go. A little bit. Some mortars. RPG, that more looks more like it's just out for display. Helmets. Oh, here we go. Croatian defense. Let's go check Croatian defense out. Oh, these are cool.
Across this exhibition, and they're the ones who do like whoever we sold it to, nobody was complaining.
All right, BDT. We got another. See, now we're getting into it. Now we're getting into it. .556, 556. There's a bunch lining the wall over here. There you go, drone defense, right? All right, so new goal is to not get in trouble for filming something I'm not supposed to film. We'll see if we can make that work. I have a feeling we'll see. Nobody's really been pressing about that so far, but I wonder what the Chinese and Russian sections will look like. On that note, we were actually scheduled this morning to go do some work with the Ukrainian team that's here. They've got some really impressive drone drop munitions that they have on display, and we've been going back and forth about how we could help showcase that, because it's really impressive stuff. And we finally settled on not a good idea to do it, unfortunately. They had some pictures showing up on Russian Telegram channels of their stuff, made them understandably nervous, and I offered, I said, hey, you guys can do like a scrub after the fact to make sure I'm not putting something out that shouldn't, violates OPSEC or anything like that. But their security service chimed in and said probably best to just not publish it. So I'm sorry, I wanted to do that, but I do think we are going to stay in touch and hopefully be able to work on something to kind of showcase their domestic manufacturing arm as it relates to the defense industry, because Ukraine has come a really, really long way. And they're churning out, quite frankly, as walking around here. Again, we got these big old tanks. We look at more in other videos. Looking around here, some of the Ukrainian stuff is some of the most advanced in terms of what can actually be utilized in the modern battlefield. A lot of this stuff we're just not seeing used quite yet. Here we go. FN Herstal. Hey, no, sir. I know for a fact there's going to be stuff popping off in the background that you guys want to see, and I'm so sorry that I'm not capturing it all. This is an area where I just don't know exactly like what the thing is. Like when I see certain drone types or certain artillery systems, it's like, oh yeah, that's new, that's different. We need to check that out. Cool. I don't necessarily know that when it comes to small arms, so hey, maybe we'll come back next year, be able to showcase even more of this stuff. I should bring a small arms expert next time. There we go. Mark 47 on board there. That's pretty cool. Automatic grenade launcher. Wall of M4s. All right. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Oh, we went over to the naval section yesterday. That was interesting, kind of different. I don't know. Not my wheelhouse. So everything, it was like underwhelming because I didn't exactly look like a bunch of ships. And I did not see, but was looking for loitering munitions, like the unmanned surface vessels that are kind of owning the Black Sea right now. And strangely didn't. I guess walk through that guy's picture. Strangely, haven't seen any unmanned surface vessels. But that was one of the conversations at the Ukrainian booth, was they're building all this stuff. They're having a really hard time exporting it. I think mostly due to local laws where so much of it is actually being utilized in the current war that it makes sense that they're not going to want to prioritize foreign arms sales. Wait a minute, here we go. D&D, Dynamite Global Defense. Got some anti-tank weapons. These are pretty small, all things considered. Let's see what's coming up here. Oh, the Kalashnikov section is right around the corner here. So they actually did have, we walked through it a couple times. The Ukrainian section, for what it's worth, is almost exclusively drones and autonomous vehicles, just because that's kind of been their forte. Drones, drone drop munitions, kamikaze vehicles, things like that. But when we get over here, you'll see Kalashnikov actually had a pretty substantial setup. But before that, Barzan Holdings. Barzan, I think, is... How's it going, sir? If I'm not mistaken, I think Barzan is affiliated with Rheinmetall. All right, here we go. Kalashnikov booth. So they've got their drone on display. I feel like we haven't seen a lot of that in Ukraine quite yet. Go. It's a bunch here. All right, we'll step around the other side. God, yeah, they've still got a whole other side of the booth. Kalashnikov shipping? I don't know, man. I don't know if I'd buy Kalashnikov shipping.
Interview? No, no interview. You can only enter you.
Should video.
You. Only you.
Only. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Straight some armor. There you go. So randomly overheard all the no interviews. No interviews. That tends to be a theme actually throughout here. Very few folks are really interested in doing interviews. We've done a couple, and it hasn't really been great, if I'm being honest, because we end up with like salespeople and marketing experts, and we don't really tend to get into the, I don't know, it's not super interesting conversations, if I'm being honest. And they're very like towing the line. Got to say just the right thing. So I don't know. All right, here we go. Azerbaijan. Actually, pretty significant setup here for the Azerbaijanis. Hi there. Oh, that's a beast. IST23. God, that's so big. Make the jokes. Go ahead. Doesn't matter. It's kind of an interesting display here, showing the ammo, the sizes of ammo. Blanks. Oh, look what snuck around on us here. Grenade launcher, that thing, it looks like it's straight out of Call of Duty. AK-74. All right, let's keep moving. We're getting into the Chinese section here. The China section is mostly big stuff. They've got to have some small. God, a little mannequin. Thought that was a person. It's not a person. So, whoa, zoomed in. All right. If you're wondering what all these people are thinking as I'm walking by, talking into a camera to myself, that makes two of us. I also wonder what they're thinking. Here we go. We got another Rosa-born export. Russian. I think there's something more over here too. No. All right. I said it in a previous video, and I'll say it again here. There's a couple Russian soldiers in uniform walking around here. It's probably a pretty good posting, all things considered. If you think about where else they might be utilized these days, hanging out, pitching weapons in the Emirates is probably considered a win for those guys. Plush posting, if you will. All right, CJ AIE. Getting in some Chinese stuff here. Gentlemen. Well, that's interesting. Looks a little M4-ish in a sense. Oh, there we go. There's the M4 looking one, isn't it? 5.56, I guess. Need a bigger scope? All right, we'll keep on keeping on. Yeah, a lot of the, I'll spin it around so you can see this. So this is a lot of the Chinese stuff, right? Bigger missiles, rockets, MLRS systems, a lot of MLRS systems, air defense systems. We covered a lot of this in an earlier video. So we won't double tap it. No pun intended. Whoop. Excuse me. All right. Maybe anti-tank weapons. No, never mind. Still in the Chinese section. Some interesting stuff here. Rheinmetall. Just kidding. Poly Technologies. Chinese. Looks an awful lot like Rheinmetall. Oh, here we go. We've got some anti-tank stuff back here. That's. Look at that little thing. It's got to be. That can't be. I don't know. The handset looks full-sized. I think it fired, yeah, it fires that thing right there. God, that's actually, I'm kind of interested in that little dude. You've got what looks like a little smaller, right? Closer to the size, length of a small D, but a little kind of a mix between a small D and an AT-4. Maybe a Javelin-looking item there. That. Everyone needs one for home defense. Yes, sir. Yeah, I would say outside of the Emiratis, the Chinese have the largest display, I would say. Which there's a lot of interesting takeaways here, right? I'm surprised personally that Russia has much out at all. I don't know that they're doing a whole lot of export sales these days. I just, similar to the Ukrainian story, right? The Ukrainians are focused on keeping up their own war effort, and Russia is very much the same. In fact, I believe, I could be mistaken, but I believe export sales dropped in Russia pretty significantly since the start of the war. There's a couple different ways you could look at that. One is people are seeing these things used on the battlefield, and they don't like what they're seeing. And I think there is an argument for that in a sense, especially things like the surface air missile systems, S-300, S-400, maybe not doing what they were initially promised. But also Russia they just need that stuff because they're using it up. So they don't have a lot of room to sell it abroad. They need to make it and send it to the battlefields. Very similar story with the Ukrainians right now, where they need the equipment to be used themselves. So export sales is a thing, but it's more of an after the war kind of thing. I'm going to spin it around so you can kind of see what I'm looking at here. Kind of a large section that's not actually super small arms focused. I want one of those though. Cockerel. There we go. Actually, I guess that's Australian, maybe? It's kind of cool looking. It's like a Humvee grew up. Like the big brother. Oh, we've got some stuff back here. It looks Turkish. Yeah, we'll get here all the way to the back. There's a mixed, some of these places, like when you get over to the US booth, the Lockheed type stuff, it's all just little display items. Like this is what it would look like. And then other areas, you tend to have actual exhibits of what the systems would look like. How you doing, sir? guys got a nice setup here all the way in the back. I like it. Turkey, right? Awesome. Thank you very much. You have a nice day. All right. Oh, here we go. More Turkish arms. Ah, this big crowd. Oh, here we go. Oh, this is a cool display. This is like a nice centerpiece for a living room, isn't it? You put a vase right there in the middle. It's interesting. So this is SAR company, Sarsilmaz. Pretty big Turkish showing here, I would say. I was walking too fast. I was too excited to find the next thing, and I missed all this.
Nossa, essas câmeras, mano, isso daí eu vou passar.
All right, there's one we're gonna have to check out here in a second. I didn't know it was a thing, but it looks like a gold-plated pistol, so we're gonna have to.
Ela é fofinha até com a arma na mão.
Oh, here's one. There's one that's even more than that, because why not, right? There's a lot of pictures with the gun right now, so we'll do it. Patience. We're just going to zoom in from the side so you can see it. All right. They're getting a lot of pictures of that thing, so I lost patience. I said be patient, and then I lost patience. I don't know that there's anything that compares to the size of this event elsewhere. I haven't been to any other major defense. I mean, this is defense focused, right? The buyers here are governments. Technically, you can come in as an individual, but it's not who they're selling to. Egypt. We're gonna sneak through. Try not to break anything. Oh my God, that was close. Okay. I think it's the first booth I've seen showing detonators. That's interesting. And I always like these displays showing the different. Oh, hello. Hold on. We're in the gold pistol section. Just back-to-back displays. I always like these when it lays out the artillery and tank rounds side by side. Let's keep moving. Anybody heard of ATA Defense? I like that right there. Here we go. It's lethal looking. Yeah, gun is lethal looking. All right, let's see what else we're doing here. We got seatbelt displays. I'm going to spare you on that one. No disrespect to T-Mac. T-Mac. It's life-saving work. It's important work. But it doesn't make for a great video, if I'm being honest. And the same thing with, there's actually a couple other things. Electronic warfare, jammers, like there's a ton of stuff. How the hell do you make a good video showing like new electronic warfare capabilities? It's so technical that we've kind of started down that route a couple times. We almost need to show it like actually working and the things that it's, you know, being able to take out of action. All right, let's flip it back around. So this is the DJI Mavic, and love it because I can just click a button and flip it to show different angles. And for somebody that's very technologically challenged, it's perfect. Oh, RPGs, because why not? Let's get into it. Hi there. And then, you know, I don't want to hate too much on it. So we've got some seatbelt seats there, and then boots, right? Everybody needs boots. I got bad ones today, bad shoes. It's killing my feet, but self-inflicted wound, if you will. All right, there's a Saudi side up here. I wonder if they have anything sitting out. All right, so unofficial ranking system, most impressed to least impressed from what we've seen so far. The Ukrainian delegation's kind of on their own, and I know I have a bias there because we're seeing that stuff used today on the battlefield. I thought it was really cool for them to highlight some of that stuff. The U.S. section is kind of to be expected. So like there's nothing really, there wasn't really anything like groundbreaking, like, oh my God, I can't believe they're rolling this thing out. So under that context, I would say the Chinese and the Emirati sections have actually been the most, like eye-opening is probably the best way to put it. The most products, and I know there's just this running joke that everything China creates is cheap, and like, I know these are set-aside displays, but stuff doesn't look cheap, man. It looks like China's made a lot of progress in the defense industry, and I think we probably are underappreciating how far they've come in certain areas. Now, there's only so much you can take away from like a little mock-up of a plane, right? But man, they got a lot of stuff over there. Then the Emirati section, especially with Edge Group. I mean, we looked at some of their boats yesterday outside. They have boats, small arms, mortars, massive drones, loitering munitions. You name it, they've got it. So, Taurus. So the Emirati piece has been really interesting, and then Turkey, I would say, as well, has been pretty strong showing by the Turks. So we've got Taurus here. Popular booth here for Taurus. No gold pistols. We've come a long ways.
Metal injection molding technology.
Kind of like this little guy.
Steel to be injected into geometrically complex components with greater precision and lower cost than conventional methods. Yet another example is Taurus's implementation of a new production engineering process called lean engineering. Both these technologies translate into a higher performance to price value for products.
All right. So yeah, Chinese section's been, I feel like we need to keep an eye on that. Emirati section, interesting. I'm really interested to see where the Emirati starts selling into. They've definitely got a market here in the Middle East. I've seen, like a week or two ago, Israel inked a deal with Edge, I believe, around, I think it was some sort of drone defense technologies. But yeah, I mean, we're in a, I don't think we need to skirt around it at all. The United States appears right now to kind of be pulling back on the world stage, and one of the areas, call it a mix of soft and hard power, is that we sell a lot of military technology abroad, and it's unseen yet. You know, I can see this administration kind of going both directions, trying to ramp up foreign military sales or trying to wind it down. I mean, I think there's probably arguments to be made in both directions, but if it does wind down, we should keep in mind that a lot of the companies here, a lot of the countries here are going to be jumping at that opportunity to fill that gap. And I don't know. Look, maybe I'm easily fooled, right? But it does seem like there's probably more than one viable alternative to a lot of the stuff. It's not just the United States that makes quality military gear, right? There's a lot of companies here that have put a lot of time and energy into probably trying to fill those gaps in the market. France. I was hoping for some more French stuff. Relatively small section. Leonardo. I wonder if Leonardo has anything. I'm getting ready to double back where we've already been, which means we've hit everything in the main hall. Yeah, we'll wrap up back here at the edge section. So, here we go, we'll get past this. Oh, here we go, we got one more. I can't read that name. COST? Coast, maybe? Individual weapon systems.
They started this 2006. We supplied more than 10 years. And now they change mind. Oh, we need binoculars.
All right, we're back in the edge section. I gotta go get some pictures for thumbnails to figure out how to put these videos together. But yeah, I hope you like this. There's a lot here. I know small arms, individual weapon systems. There's guys, no doubt, watching this channel that could better explain a lot of this stuff than I can. But I didn't want to miss the opportunity to at least show you some of the stuff that's going on here, so you get an idea of what's being displayed. But I don't know, maybe next year we come back, we do it again. I get a small arms expert and I just latch on. Ronnie Atkins, you available over there at Funker? Latch on at the arm and get them to walk through and explain like why certain things are really advanced technology and why we should pay attention. But that'll do it for now. Again, big thank you to Edge. I'm here outside their booth right now. They're the ones that paid for this trip. They sponsored this video and the other couples coming out of this conference. I like it. They've been really good at saying just go record what you want, what you think will work well for your audience. Been very flexible. There's no editorial control, which is awesome. Very trusting, and they just want me to put something together that's going to resonate with you all, and hopefully it's doing that. But again, big thanks to Edge for allowing this to happen. Hopefully you guys got a little bit out of this and could see kind of what's actually going on at these major international arms conferences. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time.